If you're hyped for this new era of the Chicago Bears, then make sure you subscribe to Chicago Bears Voice right now. Smash that like button and comment bear down if you believe this team is quietly building something special under Ben Johnson. Because Bears fans, this is the kind of move that championship teams make before the rest of the league even notices. It's the kind of move that separates the teams that just draft talent from the teams that build an identity. This is honestly so much fun to watch. You guys, the Chicago Bears may have struck gold once again. After a 2025 season where we saw this offense finally wake up, the front office isn't resting on its laurels. And the craziest part? Ben Johnson apparently identified another got-to-have-it player, brought him in for a top 30 visit, which usually signals a high-priority target, and then the Bears managed to land him as an undrafted free agent. That is unbelievable value. We are talking about a player who was a priority for teams like Seattle, yet he chose the vision here in Chicago. I'm telling you right now, even if it's not immediately this season, this kid is going to play meaningful snaps for this football team. I truly believe there's a real chance he could eventually take over a major role in this backfield as early as next year. But before we understand why Bears fans should be excited about Colem B, we need to take a little trip back in time. And extra points in the comments if you know where that Wayback Machine reference comes from, because I might be showing my age a little bit there. Let's rewind to David Montgomery at Iowa State back in 2018. If you followed college ball then, you know Montgomery wasn't the fastest guy on the track. He didn't have the home run speed of a Saquon Barkley. But during his college career, Montgomery established himself as one of the most elusive running backs in all of college football history. And I don't use that term lightly. One specific category absolutely jumps off the screen: forced missed tackles. Now trust me, this matters. This isn't just a nerd stat. This directly connects to the current player we're talking about today and the philosophy Ben Johnson is bringing to this 2026 roster. As a sophomore at Iowa State, Montgomery forced an absurd 109 missed tackles. Think about that for a second. 109. That set the PFF college football record for a single season. Then in another dominant year, he forced 104 missed tackles, which ranked top 3 all-time. At one point, he literally held the number 1 and number 2 spots for PFF's highest-graded seasons ever in forced missed tackles. He continued dominating in 2018, too. And then you look at his elusive rating. Montgomery posted a 127.2 elusive rating, second in the nation behind only Rashad Penny. He also showed elite receiving ability and was incredible at breaking tackles in the passing game, ranking second nationally with 23 forced missed tackles on just 36 receptions in 2017. And remember, he did all of this while running behind an offensive line that wasn't exactly elite. He created yardage on his own after contact. That toughness, balance, and refusal to go down became his trademark. The Ben Johnson connection. And Bears fans already know exactly what Ben Johnson did with Montgomery in Detroit. When Johnson took over that Lions offense, he didn't just see a slow back. He saw a weapon. He turned him into one of the NFL's most effective power backs while still utilizing his receiving skills and ability to make defenders miss in space. He maximized that contact balance. Which brings us to present day. The player I want to talk about again is Colem B. I already made one video about him. But Bears fans, this story keeps getting more exciting the deeper you dive into it. This isn't just camp buddy hype. This is a statistical anomaly. This is a running back who broke 40 tackles on only 133 rushing attempts during his time at Kennesaw State. Then he broke another 13 tackles on just 18 receptions in 2025. According to PFF, that's 53 broken tackles on only 151 total touches. Let's do the math together. That means over 1/3 of the times he touched the football, somebody failed to bring him down. Think about the physics of that. Every 3 times the quarterback hands him the ball, he is physically imposing his will on a defender. That was the highest broken tackle rate of any running back in the entire 2026 NFL draft class. Not just the undrafted guys, the entire class. I'm telling you guys right now, this Bears coaching staff, and especially Ben Johnson, has an incredible eye for offensive talent. He finds guys other teams overlook completely because they are staring at 40-yard dash times. And this running back room, was quietly a position Chicago wanted to strengthen. The roster realities. Why now? That should not surprise anybody. Yes, DeAndre Swift is still here. We love what Swift brings to the table. Yes, Russian Johnson and Kyle Monangai, who had a monster rookie year in 2025, are young backs with massive upside. But the NFL moves fast. Contracts expire. Injuries happen. Swift is a dynamic playmaker, but he is not necessarily tied to this franchise forever. Ben Johnson clearly wants to identify the next wave of talent before it becomes a problem. And depth matters more than ever. The loss of Travis Homer hurts special teams depth and emergency running back depth. Behind the top names, you've got guys like Britton Brown, who flashed in preseason but didn't do much during the regular season. Then there's Deion Hankins coming off injury concerns. So Coleman Bennett isn't just a fun project player. He fills a legitimate, structural need on this roster. At first glance, casual fans might look at this signing and say, okay, cool, it's just another undrafted free agent from a smaller school. No, not when you study the broken tackle metrics. That's where this becomes fascinating, because this is exactly the type of running back Ben Johnson loves. The Coleman Bennett profile, the hammer. Bennett originally stood out as a versatile running back and return specialist at Bucknell. Then he disappeared for a season at Rice before finally getting a real opportunity at Kennesaw State. And when he finally got that opportunity, man, he exploded. Over 1,000 total yards, 7 touchdowns, 764 rushing yards, 314 receiving yards. He proved he could do everything. But again, the stats alone are not what drew Ben Johnson to him. It was that insane contact balance and ability to stay upright through traffic. That relentless style. That violent leg drive after contact. The exact same traits that made David Montgomery such a weapon. We're talking about a player who forced broken tackles on 1/3 of his touches. That is absurd production. And it wasn't just between the tackles either. Bennett was making defenders miss as a receiver too, breaking 13 tackles on only 18 catches. Now let me be clear before the comments go crazy. I am not saying Coleman Bennett is the next Walter Payton. Relax. I'm not saying he's going to Canton tomorrow. What I am saying is this. The Bears may have uncovered another hidden gem as an undrafted free agent, and Ben Johnson is going to absolutely love using this kid. The culture of competition. Wait until training camp. Seriously, watch how quickly people start noticing him once the pads come on. This could become the future replacement plan after Swift eventually moves on. This could become injury insurance if Swift or Monangai miss time. This could become a thunder and lightning combination in this offense that reminds us of the best days of the 2023 to 2025 Detroit Lions backfield. And honestly, the Bays should have never let David Montgomery leave in the first place. I'm still irritated about that decision. Look what Montgomery became under Ben Johnson with the Lions. Over 2,500 rushing yards, 33 total touchdowns. He became a record breaker in Detroit. But now, we have the architect here in Chicago. Ben Johnson is building his own version of that powerhouse. And once again, the biggest similarity between Montgomery and Coleman Bennett is obvious: toughness, physicality, contact balance, relentless running. That's why I think this signing has a chance to become one of those sneaky roster moves we'll look back on later and say, how did the rest of the NFL miss this guy? He's a 4.0 student, a team captain, a leader. He has the NFL bloodlines. He's the hammer this offense needs to close out games in the fourth quarter. So bay down, Chicago. Get excited for this season because the energy around this team feels different right now. And if you love daily coverage of the Chicago Bears, make sure you subscribe to Chicago Bears Voice right now. You guys are seriously the best viewers on all of YouTube. Bear down. See you guys in the next one.